Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Ethereum is still playing out this bearish divergence in the shorter term, while Bitcoin just experienced a perfect rejection from this short-term resistance again, which I'll talk about in just a moment, so definitely stick around. First of all, just giving you a really quick update here on the 4-day Bitcoin chart. And right now, as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is obviously still within a larger multi-month long bullish trend. But with that being said, we still need to see a weekly candle close above around 31,000 in order to actually confirm the breakout above this significant resistance. So at least for now, at the time of recording this video, we have not yet seen a confirmed breakout above this resistance, which means this giant cup and handle pattern is not yet active. And now if you're zooming into the daily Bitcoin chart, once again, the price of Bitcoin is still running into this important resistance, sitting close to 31,000. And as I mentioned in my last video on the channel, we do actually have a small bearish divergence here on the daily time frame because we have higher highs in the candle closes in the price action, while also seeing lower highs in the daily Bitcoin RSI. And if you're looking at the last time we saw something very similar to this, that of course was back during March entering into early April. And if you're looking at the Bitcoin price during that time, this came just after a significant move to the upside, which resulted in the daily Bitcoin RSI entering into overbought territories, telling us that we're due to see a cool off from this bullish price action because we were overheated in the short term. And so over the next couple of weeks, of course, we saw a lot of choppy sideways price action with the price slowly drifting to the upsides, because as always, a bearish divergence means that we're due to see reduced bullish momentum, at least in the shorter term. But it is important to understand that this does not necessarily cancel the larger bullish trend. It just basically means we're taking a pause from the trend, either in the form of some sideways price action or potentially a pullback like what we saw back here. And so right now in the shorter term, obviously we are seeing reduced bullish momentum as expected, and I would not be surprised if we do end up seeing either some more choppy sideways price action, if not a slight pullback, potentially over the coming days. And now that could ultimately be good for the larger bullish trend, because that can help the daily Bitcoin RSI continue to reset down towards more neutral levels, which can actually give us some more room to the upside later on after we play out a bit more of a cool off from that bullish price action. And as for the daily Bitcoin MACD, right now, as of recording this video, this is actually crossing in the bearish direction. But with that being said, it's still showing very low momentum either way, which once again, as I've been saying almost every day over the last 1 to 2 weeks, means that we're looking very neutral in the short term, which is why we've been seeing a lot of choppy sideways price action as expected. And now if we do ultimately play out a bit more of a short-term cool off, resetting the RSI, and then eventually break out above 31,000 with confirmation like a weekly candle close above 31k, then in that case, next I'll be looking towards around 37,000 based on the Fibonacci extensions. But once again, at least for now, that 31k level approximately is still the important resistance to pay attention to. But with that being said, if you're zooming into a smaller time frame, looking at the shorter term, obviously right now, as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is playing out a rejection from this level of resistance that I've talked about over the last few days, sitting at approximately 31.3k. Because obviously, as you can see here, over the last 2 weeks or so, we've seen multiple rejections from around that 31.3k level. If you're looking at, for example, these previous 3-hour candle closes and also this candle high back here. So at least just in the shorter term, once again, that 31.3k level is still something important to pay attention to in terms of resistance. And another area of potential resistance in the short term is this area sitting in between around 30.8k to 31k based on these previous highs back here. And as for short-term support, we still have this area which should be acting as support, sitting in between around 29.9k to 30.1k. And on top of that, over the last few days, we have found a bit of support around 30.4k, but that is just a small amount of support, not exactly an important support level. Once again, around 30,000 approximately is the important support in the shorter term, because basically if we end up seeing a confirmed break well below this area of support that I just mentioned, below around 29.9k, then in that case we would likely flip into more of a short-term bearish trend, which on the larger time frames looks more like this or like this, for example, basically a pullback within the larger bullish trend, but on smaller time frames it looks like a short-term bearish trend. But once again, at least for now, and as I've been saying almost every day over the last 1 week or so, I'm still expecting mostly choppy sideways price action, which we have been seeing as expected, because once again, just in the shorter term, in terms of the momentum and the trend in the smaller time frames, we still have a relatively low momentum to either direction. And if you want to know how to make a lot of money very easily in a choppy sideways price range just like this, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more. But first, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily ETH to US dollar chart, and right now, as of recording this video, the price of ETH is still technically within this larger multi-month long bullish trend, because we're still seeing significant higher lows and higher highs here on the larger time frames. And as for the daily Ethereum price oscillators, right now they are still looking more bullish than bearish, because for example, the RSI is still forming these higher highs and higher lows, while the daily Ethereum MACD currently is looking more bullish than bearish, because we have not yet seen a new bearish cross. But with that being said, we're still seeing a relatively low momentum, at least in the shorter term. And if you're taking a look at the 12-hour time frame, as I said in my last video on the channel, we have a confirmed bearish divergence here for the price of ETH, because obviously we have confirmed higher highs in the 12-hour candle closes in the price action, while also confirming lower highs in the 12-hour Ethereum RSI. And so once again, this is technically a shorter term bearish signal, meaning that we're due to see reduced bullish momentum, which can play out in the form of either some choppy sideways price action or a slight pullback in the shorter term, which is what we are now seeing. Once again, reduced bullish momentum. And considering the fact that this is on the 12-hour time frame, I would not be surprised if this does continue to play out at least over the next few days. And now, if you're taking a look at the 8-hour ETH to US dollar chart, right now, as of recording this video, the price of ETH is experiencing another rejection from this important golden pocket level of resistance, sitting at around 1930 to 1940, because once again, as I said in my last video, ever since we broke back below that golden pocket, this should now be considered resistance again, which is why right now, as of recording this video, the price of ETH is finding more resistance at around this area. And as for support levels, if we continue this rejection a little bit lower, then we could first of all find a bit of support where the price is sitting at right now at around 1.9k, but if we continue lower, then we should also find some support at around 1860 to 1870, and also down towards around 1.8k to 1810 approximately. And as for the 8-hour Ethereum price oscillators, as I said in my last video on the channel, here in the shorter term, these are technically looking more bearish than bullish, because as of right now, we obviously have that bearish divergence playing out in the short term right now. And on top of that, we've just seen a new bearish cross in the 8-hour Ethereum MACD. But with that being said, this is still showing relatively low momentum compared to some of these previous moves, which means we shouldn't really be expecting a massive crash or massive dump like what we saw in some of these previous moves, at least for now, based on the current momentum. And now, if you want to know how to make a lot of money in crypto very easily, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or simply chopping around sideways like Bitcoin is right now, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money no matter if the price is bullish or bearish using AI, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from a choppy sideways price range. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.